Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing well. Vive le français. And today I want to tell you something that I noticed here, and it's happening all over France. You see this in Paris and you see this everywhere. So whenever you are in Paris in the street, so here I cannot show you because these guys are not here, and if you film maybe they will not be very happy. So when you are in Paris, you have some professional beggars. So what I say professional beggars, in fact, there are some guys who work for some company, and their job is to ask you for some money, and they will ask you for your monthly payment for a good cause. So sometimes it can be for the heads, to fight the hate. Sometimes it can be for hunger in the world. Sometimes it can be to help African kids. Sometimes it can be, it can be many different causes. So this guy will be on the streets, and whenever you are in Paris, you have people like this who will come to you, and you'll say, they will come to you and they'll say, oh, hey, hello, bonjour, hey, venez par ici, bonjour, comment allez-vous? And then they will ask you, do you care about the hunger in the world? Or do you care about, that many? And they will ask you to give a monthly payment. And I often wonder, why is that? So when I was a kid, this was not the case. You didn't have people like this. And now, if you are in Paris, they are everywhere. In many places, they are in the pedestrian street. And here, I'm not in Paris, in the south of France. And you can see these guys, they are also there. They also are there. So you wonder why, why they are there. What are they doing there? Let me face the camera because it's better this way. So, the other day, one of these guys came to me and I was like, hey, because I think it's very annoying. I'm not a nasty person, but I think, and I'm always willing to help if I can. But I don't like to be pushed and to be annoyed. I think we all have our freedom, and you shouldn't annoy other people all the time. And this is kind of, a commercial guy, the guy who has to sell you some product, and you go, hey, come here, I need this, I need that. And it's reduced your freedom. So I don't like this a lot. And these guys, okay, my wife has a look at the shoes. This guy told me, mais vous savez, nous avons l'autorisation préfectorale, which means we have the authorization from the prefecture. The prefecture in France is the administration that is responsible for the police, for the service of the police. So it means the police and the prefecture, they will decide if you are I don't know. They will decide if the prefecture, they will decide if you are allowed to demonstrate. They will decide if you are allowed to go on the street and ask for money for a specific cause. And here they let these guys ask for the money on the street for a specific cause. So here it is for heads. So I wonder why would they let these guys beg money on the street? Why would they do this? So it's very simple. In France, in many cities, you have many beggars. So this is a very bad image, of course. I have some friends from Australia. He has been to Paris, he has been to France, his parents went to France, and then he told me, and I asked him, what did your parents think about Paris? And he said, there were so many dogs, shit everywhere, and so many beggars. That's what he told me. And that's the truth. Even when I come back from China, there are no beggars like this in China, and there is no dog shit everywhere, So when you come to France, to Paris, you have this impression. So I'm not sure about the dog shit, that's another debate, but then that's true, you have many beggars. And I told you why. Because French people will give money. They give money. And then you have all the European Union, the salary difference. So many guys, they come from countries where the salary is much lower, and they will come to France and say, okay, it's better to be a beggar here in France than to be a beggar in my own country because I can make a better living. The life is easier. In some countries with Protestant background, people are not going to give them so much money. Like in Germany, people say, you need to work. You shouldn't give to people who beg. You can give to someone if he is doing something for you. like he's playing the music, then you can give him something. But if he's just begging, you should not give him. But in a Catholic country, you need to give to the one who need, the one in need. And by the way, you have many beggars who will stand in front of the church. But anyway, there are so many beggars in Paris. Also, you have many tourists, and the tourists will be willing to give money. The tourists will give money. Anyway, it's bad for the image. It's bad for the image that you have so many beggars. Some of these beggars, in fact, are kind of mafia as well. So it's bad for the image, and it makes the city look dirty, look unsafe. So what can the local authority do? Nothing. They are not going to take the gun and kill the beggars. They are not going to beat them out and kick them out of the city, like they would do this in some countries. Probably they will tell them, go away, and then the police will kick them. They cannot do this, right? So there's nothing that they can do, but they can change the image. So what they will do is they will have these guys who are professionals who come here and who ask money for heads, or who ask money for HIV, for the saving the African kids. And these guys, they compete with the beggars, and they are everywhere. Now in Paris you can see them everywhere. So in fact the tourists or the normal people, they were, in their mind, they will not perceive the beggars in a negative way, because these are commercial, professional beggars. So commercials who sell you, who ask for money for a good cause, a positive cause. If you give money for AIDS, it's something good. If you give money for saving poor kids in Africa, this is something good. If you give money to someone who is on the street, this is not good. This is just normal, like, okay? And who knows, all right? The guy who comes here who is a tourist, he will see all these professionals, and he will say, oh, but there are many beggars, but it's for good cause, it's not bad, and that's good for the image. So that's why all the cities now, they allow all these guys to do. That's the first thing. The other thing is because they compete with the normal beggars, and the normal beggars have no authorization, and this gives legitimate the police to kick them out. So the police can say, you have no authorization to beg on the street. These guys, they have the authorization to beg on the street. Therefore, you cannot stay here and you cannot beg because you don't have the authorization. But these guys, they got the authorization, so we have the right to kick you out because you didn't ask for authorization to beg. So that also gives them more legitimacy, you know, to the police. The third thing is there is the competition, and it's more likely that the random people, they are not going to give to the beggars, and if people don't give to the beggars, then there will be less beggars. That's how it is, right? If the guy knows, okay, here nobody's going to give to me, then he's not going to beg. What will he do to survive? But maybe something else. He will try to work on the black, he will try to sell some drugs, he will become a thief, he will, I don't know, he will prostitute himself, he will do something else. But anyway, when people don't give to them, they don't beg. So people are more willing to give to these professional companies who do the begging rather than to the individual beggars. That's what's happening. So these professional companies who begs for the ads or for whatever, they replace the beggars, you know. So that's something I wanted to discuss with you. Why? Because it is about the French environment, the French life, and the life in France, and that's something that developed a lot in our society. Of course, it's very sad, but you have to know this, because if one day you come to Paris, or if one day you come to smaller cities, in smaller cities not so much, but it's likely that you will be walking down the street and then you have these guys who will say, ah, bonjour, bonjour, and I will show you, by the way, if I can, with hidden cam, or I can show you. And it's likely that these guys will come to you, so you need to know this, and there is a reason why they are there. There is a reason why they are there. So it's part of this place. It's part also of the moral that maybe a Catholic moral that the people are going to give, and it's part of a system that these guys are allowed. And it's also a pity that you have in the society that we are here, that we live now, you have to be the professional beggar. Even the beggar will be trained, you know. Even if you are someone who is if you are a real beggar, no, it won't work out, you know. You have to be the beggar with I'm begging, but I'm not begging for myself, I'm begging for this good moral cause, and I am not really a beggar, I'm working for to get the money for this company, which is kind of crazy, you know. So people cannot even trust their own judgment. on anything. They are not going to see, oh, this guy needs money, this one doesn't need. No, they need to believe in the brand. They believe in the brand, so they are going to trust the brand. So these guys, I can trust him and I can give money to him because it's the brand. Maybe you can trust the brand and you can trust the commercial guy who is asking money. Maybe not. Maybe if you give to the individual beggar, I would rather give to the individual beggar, but I try to think, oh, is he old, is he young, does he really need the money, is he going to spend it to drink, or is he going I try to see a little bit and try to give to the one I believe I trust more, rather than give for the brand. Okay. Au revoir les amis.